Welcome back to another video. It is Wednesday evening. It's actually 7:30, so it's pretty late when I'm starting training, and I still need to go on a dog walk as well. If you've watched the last video or the last two videos, you will know that I am back to self-coaching, which I am incredibly happy about. I think I really enjoyed yesterday's session and I've been feeling really excited to train, which confirms me I've definitely made the right choice and it was the right time for me to kind of go back to doing it myself. And I just feel really excited to train again. And I think part of that is obviously the novelty of doing my own thing again. But it just feels good to be like doing this again. So I'm really happy. I will say in the last video, I was like pretty energetic, excited to train, really looking forward to it. Today, the energy has massively dipped. So I had the realization earlier that I've literally just not stopped since I got back from Poland. So last week I was in Poland for Bench Worlds. I got home about 11:15 in the evening on Friday. I then went like straight to bed, got up reasonably early Saturday because while I was in Poland, I did keep on top of client replies, but I had to push all of the programming that I normally do during the week to the weekend. I had quite a lot of inquiries coming, which obviously I'm really happy about and grateful for during the week while I was in Poland. So I had to get calls booked in with people for that. I had some client calls to catch up on and get booked in as well for people that have competed recently or are competing soon that wanted to have a kind of chat through the plan. And I am someone that likes to just get everything booked in as soon as possible. I also had a podcast on Sunday morning as well, or two technically for the preview shows for Worlds. And basically kind of realized that, I mean, today was definitely a slower work day. But the last 4 days, I've kind of just not stopped, which I'm really grateful for. Like really, really, like this is not me complaining at all, but it is me realizing I probably needed a day when I got back to just catch up on sleep, relax, kind of just look after myself a little bit. But it's fine because this weekend I will be having like a full day off, probably on Saturday. But yeah, I'm very tired today, which is fine. And to be fair, I've like all of like the long bits of work that I needed to do, I've definitely caught up on. Now it's just like extra little bits and obviously just staying on top of replies. So I'm in a really good position for the rest of the week to not be overwhelming at all. And I haven't felt overwhelmed at all because I've really obviously just been enjoying it all. But I just had this moment earlier where I was like, I'm exhausted. And I actually had about an hour and a half nap this afternoon, which was a mistake because I woke up actually feeling worse, but I don't like to admit that. But I was literally too tired to really just function. So I was like, I'm just going to lay in bed for an hour. And I did. Which is fine. I was going to such deep sleep as well. But that doesn't mean I'm now training quite late. Food today hasn't been amazing. So I got back to tracking yesterday. I'm going to be so real here. The first week post-comp when I kind of get back to tracking, because I've not got another comp for a long time and stuff. And my nutrition coach even said to me, she's like, you don't need to track this week. Like you can just have a week of just like not worrying about optimizing anything and just basically just eat more intuitively and just kind of eat what you want and just relax, essentially, like mentally deload from dieting, basically. But I did want to get back to tracking, and yesterday, like I felt good tracking. I was pretty happy doing it. Today, I had planned out all of my food, but my boyfriend bought me one of the massive Biscoff dairy milk bars, and so I ate that this afternoon because I was really hungry, which I was going to save for a rest day because typically I like to save like my treats, especially things that are quite fatty like chocolate, for rest days because I don't want it to impact my training, or I'll save it for once I've finished training. But it was sat on the worktop in the kitchen and it was just staring at me. So I did have that this afternoon, which I think also made me feel really exhausted and just not great, as much as it was worth it. I ended up not feeling great, which means one, today calories are obviously going to be quite high, but also just like fuel for the session isn't great. But speaking of the session, it's not a very long session at all. And that's why I'm so glad I've kind of split my week up differently now. So I've literally got some really light comp bench, just 3x5 at 85. And then I've got sumo deadlift, 2 sets of 4 ascending sets. I've given myself set loads for these. Literally gonna do 125 for 4, 135 for 4. And then I'm gonna do 2x5 at 115 on conventional deadlift, just to kind of go through the motions, feel it out, check how my hamstring feels. Super, super light. Like this entire week is going to be like crazy light, like lighter than I ever usually go. There is logic behind it because I do then afterwards have some lower body movements that I've not done in a really long time. Just like smaller movements. I've also got Bulgarian split squats in the plan, which I'm going to be so honest. I mean, I'm going to do them body weight anyway. I've literally prescribed them body weight, just 1 set on each leg for this week. I've not done split squats or a lunge variation or anything like that in so long. I think they were taken out of the program when I first moved to Lewis back in like September, October time. I really like having like single leg work in, and quite a lot of my athletes have like 1 AMRAP set or like 1 2-minute set or 1 minute set, depending on who it is, of walking lunges, just kind of body weight at the end of their sessions, like once a week, literally just to get their hips, knees and everything just moving and healthy and happy. And I think they're a really, really good thing to have in a program for most people. But I've not had them in my program for ages. And with my hamstring kind of glute issue that I had, or I've been dealing with, I don't actually know if I can do Bulgarian split squats on my left leg, which sounds really like dramatic, but genuinely, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do them. So if I can't, I will literally just do some walking lunges or something, just open the shutter and do them at the side. But yeah, I am intrigued to see how I get on with them. I've also got like a wall sit in there as well, just 2 sets. Haven't done those in years, but I think for how my knees and stuff have been feeling, I think they'll be a really good addition. Just something quite easy to add in that I can just do at home. And then I've got some other like rehabby bits as well. So I'm really looking forward to this session because I do think it's going to be a nice kind of mentally fairly easy session. Like the only thing each week that's really going to require a lot of like mental energy is going to be deadlifts, obviously as they get heavier, but this first 3-week block, they're not going to be heavy at all. And this session shouldn't take me too long, which I'm glad for because I do have to go on a walk after this. But yeah, I'm feeling, other than the fact I'm just very tired today, I'm feeling really good. Like things are going really, really well, like outside of training as well. So yeah, I can't really complain. I just need to get a good night's sleep tonight, which I hope I can do. I think that's probably all of my updates. Nothing else to really talk through. I will obviously show you guys what I end up doing. I'll probably also just include Friday's tempo bench in this video as well, just to kind of break down my full week in this week's videos. And then from next week, I'll kind of structure my videos so they're not going to be quite as long. In my comp recap, if you've seen it, you know that I mentioned at the end that there's kind of a bit of a surprise coming, or like a bit of news around my training that people won't expect, which, spoiler alert, it's that I'm going back to being self-coached. But someone left a comment and said, make the next video a real surprise for everyone. Take a complete week off. They said, if I was your coach, I'd nail the garage door shut and hide your car keys. And that really made me laugh because I, like, in a good way, like I was smiling as I read it. Because I was like, I love that I've just set this precedent for people that keep up with my videos, that if I, like, it would be an absolute shock to people if I actually took a week off of training. And I will say, like, I completely get what they're saying. Like, a week off probably mentally is something that I would have benefited from, but also just having a week off of squatting and deadlifting a couple of weeks ago and how I felt that first week back. Like, I really didn't enjoy that first week back squatting and deadlifting. I actually don't really want a week off, like, at all. I really enjoy training. Like, it's time for me throughout the week. And I don't, like, I think now that I'm self-coaching again as well, and I've made so many changes to, like, the structure of my week and stuff, I'm really excited to be training. So just gonna train anyway. That's all I had to say. I will show you guys what I end up doing. Like I say, bench is gonna be super light sets of 5, so I'll just record 1 set for you. And then I'll just probably record my heaviest set of sumo, and I'll also film my conventional. One other thing that I didn't mention, I need to stop talking and get on, but my body today. So anyone that doesn't know, I've been dealing with a hamstring issue for a while. By a while, I mean like a couple of years, and I had a lower back flare like the week out from bench wells, about 2 weeks ago now, I'm not even sure. Basically, today, I was just walking around earlier and I just had this sudden realization that my body wasn't in pain. Like, my back feels good today and my hamstring issue feels non-existent today. Now, I'm aware that's just a good day, and there's going to be days where it starts to flare up again, and both of those issues are probably going to still cause me some kind of issues and pain for a bit. But yeah, I was walking around today and I was like, I feel healthy, like the healthiest my body's felt in years. So that made me really happy, and hoping that this session doesn't kind of reverse that. I wouldn't be surprised if post deadlifting I have a bit of stiffness again in my lower back, because that is kind of the theme of what's been causing more irritation, or like just a little bit of a flare up post training, but we'll just kind of see how we go. That's also why I'm doing things so light anyway, but it feels really good to feel like I'm actually kind of getting back to being healthy, and I'm hoping these other movements I'm adding into the program are only going to assist with that. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 어지러워 I see 한여름에도 난 겨울 Yeah, got blood Yeah, 너와 있을 때 I swear 제가 먼저 zero 폭설한 기출돼 꿈에도 I wasn't aware 나만 빼고 넌 모두에게 참 친절해 내 신감이 들어 단판이 돼도 머릿속을 흔들린 ibuprofen 그만해 it's time to stop 승부욕을 자극하는 style Yeah 알면서도 마음이 자꾸 내게 가 안만 빠져버릴까 If you want me back I'll tell you I'm sorry If you want me back I'll tell you stop trying Look at the state of me. That was a really good session. It didn't take me very long. I've literally been training for an hour and I didn't go quickly at all either. Like, I really took my time. I'm sweating. 2 reasons. 1, very humbling accessory session at the end of my bench and deadlifts. But also I had to shut the doors because there was like a thunderstorm and like pouring with rain halfway through my session. So it's got very stuffy in here as well. But that was a really productive session. So I mentioned in the last video, this first week is literally just kind of finalizing the structure, making sure that any movements I've put in have kind of got a good purpose, because I was kind of thinking about what movements have I not done for a long time, or are really simple, easy to do at home that would address weaknesses that I've got. And I think I've literally hit the nail on the head today. Very humbling. Let me get my phone up. So I'm going to talk through the movements I've put in, which there are reasons behind all of them. So I mentioned earlier, you know, bench and deadlifts obviously were fine. I actually ended up doing 120 for conventional because I wasn't thinking about the fact I had to go down to 115 for it. And I put 2 reds on. So I was like, let's just bump it up. But I will say squatting into my conventional more rather than kind of hinging back into it is definitely feeling really good. So I'm quite excited to keep going with that. I mentioned in the last video, I think, or the video before, why I was doing that. But essentially it's just because when I actually hinge back, it really, when my hamstring is lengthened, it basically puts my kind of issue that I've been dealing with in a more like vulnerable state. So kind of avoiding that by squatting down into the bar a little bit more and kind of using my legs a little bit more versus like actually hinging into the deadlift. And to be honest, I think long term it'll be stronger for me anyway. But anyway, humbling movements after. So I tried Bulgarian split squats. I literally did 1 set of 12 on each leg. No weight. That was the plan all along. I'm going to keep them body weight this first block. Literally just do 1 set each week to begin with. And I'm glad I did that because it wasn't as uncomfortable in terms of stiffness as I expected, but there is definitely a difference between the left side, which is the side that's been injured, and the right side. And it just felt a bit awkward, and I can definitely tell that it's working areas that I think will benefit me. And I noticed like my left hip felt a little bit of stiffness when I'd finished it, and I think it's just because I've not been in that movement pattern for a long time. But I was like, after I'd done them, other than like being able to feel kind of the area that worked and like the little bit of kind of stretch, I guess, in my hip, it felt good. So I think that's definitely gonna be something worth putting in. And then obviously I'll start like, I'm not gonna push them. Like the plan is never to push them, but just, you know, obviously do more than just 1 body weight set of 12 each week. I then did one of my physio movements that I've kind of been doing for a long time that essentially just helps with kind of loosening off my hip and also forcing internal rotation on that left side, which is something that when my hamstring was at its worst, I was basically avoiding internal rotation on that side. And that always feels really good and just helps me feel good after. I then tried wall sits. I actually, these is a superset, also I'm so bright red and sweaty, it's disgusting. I did wall sits after, and I wasn't sure how they'd feel. The first set, I definitely didn't sit low enough. And I was like, oh, I'm not as bad at these as I thought. Maybe they're not like necessary. Because I had this inkling that they would basically just show quite a big weakness around, especially like my knees and everything, where again, I've been squatting in my rigs and doing no other leg accessory for so long. Second set, noticed it a lot more, and I actually noticed that there was a little bit of pain in my right knee if I went slightly too low. And when I say too low, I don't mean I was going like excessively low. I basically mean that was like at parallel or like squat depth kind of level. So I'm definitely going to keep those in because I think they are going to be good long term. The most humbling of them all, single leg glute bridges. So I've never been good at doing like hip thrusts, glute bridges, anything like that. I've always been pretty weak at, but I've also never really pushed them in training. I did have them in my program years ago when I was like working as a PT, working in a gym. And I also had them in my program briefly, it was years ago, because it was when we lived in the flat and we used to go to the commercial gym more often. And they have they've gotten rid of it now, a really good glute drive machine. And I used to quite like doing that. So I had that in my program for a few months, but it's never been something I've been strong at, basically. Like never been something I've been strong at, never been something I've been good at. Like, even when I used the one at the gym, I literally struggled to put like a 20 kilo plate on the machine. Like, I don't know how heavy the machine was, but like I should be able to do more than that, right? So I was like, I need to address this weakness. Like, this is a low hanging fruit. I'll just start with like single leg glute bridges, because also with the hamstring issue, I'm sure there's going to be imbalances and stuff to address. I did a set of 10 each side. The right side, which is the healthy side, way harder than the left side. Second set, I literally struggled to get to 6 reps on that right side. I don't really understand how that's possible, but low hanging fruit, going to keep working on them and it will obviously get better. And I do think literally within a week, that'll probably be quite a lot easier. But I thought that was quite humbling. I've actually got them in twice in the week as well. I've got them on my Saturday session as well. Then do Copenhagen plank, which to be fair, also humbling. Again, my right side was weaker than my left, but that could also be because with the physio movements, although I've been doing a lot of the physio movements on both sides, like I've got cable adductors, or I had cable adductors from the physio. I may just do them on both sides, but I think doing that, even I remember my left side actually being stronger. But yeah, I did Copenhagen planks. Horrible, but I can tell they're going to be beneficial. And I thought that was actually better than me doing the cable adductors, because I don't like setting up the cable for it, to be honest with you. I leave the cable set up for that pull down because I do that in here every single week, and I like to just leave it like that. It's just easy, convenient. I'm lazy. And then I thought I'd finish off, bit of a random one. This one is more just for enjoyment, which is something else that I'm kind of making such a program for at the moment as well. Just an ab circuit. So when I was a PT, I used to teach like ab classes and stuff and just do like body pump, stuff like that. And we'd always do like little ab circuits at the end. And I used to really enjoy joining in with them. And I was like, do you know what? Every Wednesday at the end of my session, because it's not going to be a very long session anyway, I'll just do a 10-minute ab circuit. I'll come up with like a rough circuit idea. I'll just make it up on the day and just do it for fun. And I really enjoy doing it. And I think that's also partly why I'm so sweaty, because I got through all those accessories really quickly as well. Because obviously there's nothing like heavy or too strenuous in there. It is just like kind of like grunt work type thing, just getting it done. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I feel like you can probably tell that I enjoyed it from the fact that I'm talking 100 miles an hour. It was good. It felt like work, but it felt like good work. And I think it's going to be productive work. So I don't want just to have like junk movements in the program. Like I need to get away from the hyper specificity that I've been doing and kind of reintroduce these movements for my body to like confirm to my body that it's healthy as well. Because like going into the session, as I said, I felt the healthiest I've felt in as long as I can remember today. Like my body has had no pains, no aches. I've not been worried about anything at all. So not that I'm worried probably isn't the right word, but like I genuinely had no pain today. And when I was doing sumo, I was like, oh, I think my back's stiffening up a little bit. But now, fine. Don't get me wrong. When I go indoors and I kind of start like slowing down, I mean, I still need to go for a walk. I think it stopped thundering. But I might have a little bit more stiffness later. But right now I feel really good. And I feel really positive. Like I think this structure is going to do me loads of favors in terms of shorter sessions. Mentally, it's just going to be a little bit easy. Like coming in here at 7:30 tonight, it's now 20 to 8 and I've been talking for like 10 minutes. Like I'm going to go in, literally have some food, go on a long walk, shower and go to bed. Like that's my night. And I'll still be in bed at a good time and stuff as well. And I don't feel stressed about what time I get out here, which is just really nice. Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy. I definitely think this was the right move going back to self-coaching. So happy with that. I'm going to stop talking though, because I need to also include Friday's session in this video. And it's going to be a really long video. So apologies for that. Yeah, I'll check in with you guys on Friday.
Yeah, you got me. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 넘겨. Yeah, girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah, girl, you cold-blooded.
Okay, so it is Friday evening. It's like 7:30, but to be fair, this session took me like no time at all. I've just finished. This is my quickest session of the week, same as it was before. I haven't really adapted it too much. Basically just ascending tempo bench. So I did triples. I started at 70 because this week is literally, as I've said already, super, super light. Ascending triples, I literally did 70, 75, 80, 85. These are probably going to stay a similar load every single week as we kind of get further into the next training block and like future training blocks. But just for this first week back and like the first 3-week intro back to like this new structure, I figured it made sense to just start super, super comfortable and just super light, basically. So nothing to really say on the session, just the upper body movements after, nothing crazy. But yeah, I'm really feeling good. I'm feeling good. Nothing else to really say. I just wanted to include this to show you guys what else I'm doing. But body's feeling good. Like I feel so healthy, which is just like, I mean, it's great, but I don't know exactly what it is. Obviously there's like the mental aspect of not having the stress of another prep for a long time. I think there's the excitement aspect of obviously doing my own thing again and self-coaching. Having more calories for the last week has also definitely helped, but I'm quite surprised how good I feel so quickly, which is obviously fantastic. I'm not going to complain. I wouldn't be surprised if I have like the odd flare up and stuff here and there, but that's just the way it kind of is when it comes to kind of any kind of injury. But to be feeling this good, this soon in, I'm very happy with. Steps are kind of slowly back on the rise. I've definitely not done as many this week. But kind of slowly getting back up to that like 10, 11K mark, I think. So all is good and that will help me with staying healthy as well. So yeah, happy, nothing else to really say. I checked my body weight midweek and I was 86.2. I haven't weighed myself since. I'm kind of saying as long as I stay below 87 right now, I'll be happy. But realistically, I would like to still be in the 85s kind of at most once I get back into like full routine of tracking. But yeah, I will wrap the video up here. Thank you very much for making it to the end. I really appreciate it. In the next video, I will break down my Saturday and Sunday, so days 4 and day 5 of training, which is my primary lifts essentially. And I'll kind of go through the structure of what I'm doing for those at the moment. I'm quite excited for primary bench on Sunday because that's probably the biggest change I've made. But obviously I'll break that down in the next video. So thank you very much for making it to the end. I really appreciate it. Please be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you in a few days for the next one.
frozen 뭐야 모두 stress은 gotta let it go 했어 소개팅 데이팅 어플 다 깔아도 보았어 반대가 끌린대 Opposites attract